on Thomas Drive, where all the condos are now, there were just huge sand dunes, and it was beautiful. You couldn't see the water from Thomas Drive because of the sand dunes, and that's what I missed the most.
Yeah.
And just it was a lot of fun, just going out to the beach. You had access to the beach everywhere, not just certain areas.
We initially in the early '60s, you could actually still drive on the beach at times, but they restricted it sometimes, especially when they didn't pay much attention to the turtles at that point, as they do now. Of course, they really didn't. But now, of course, you can't drive on the beach. But you enjoy that because they restricted it to some degree, but they also allowed you to go and be able to. You couldn't have campfires. You couldn't build fires. But you could camp out on the beach and things of that nature. Missed that. Missed it like the main thing that I missed, it was then, is you could, the dunes were there, but also the beach was so accessible. And you could go at any time and just about any location. Now, are the condos a bad thing? No, they're a great thing. They, with the revenue we have for our tourist industry. But then it was more of a local. But Alabama people came down, Georgia, Tennessee, those kind of things. But it's really beautiful. I mean, the sand isn't as white now as it was then. It looked like snow. It was just so light, really, really light. Beautiful, beautiful.
And as you know, talked about on Long Beach, they actually had lean-tos out on the beach that you could camp out at night. And before we moved to Panama City, we lived in Dothan, and we would come down on weekends and actually sleep on the beach. And but they had lights out in the water so you could swim at night. And so it was neat. They had, that's where the hangout was in that area.
Mm-hmm.
They had trampolines out there. They actually had dug holes in the sand and put trampolines over the top so you could jump on the trampolines.
Much more family oriented at that point than it is now. Of course, we'll get back to that, but family oriented. Families were always down, the children and everybody, most families together. Of course, not to say we still had the summers where the youth would come down and teenagers and have a good time, but it was a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? A little more restricted, I guess, and calmer. A lot of families.
Well, we were, as teenagers, we lived here. In fact, we moved here in 1957. We both moved here the same year with our family, and so we pretty much grew up here.
Right.
But it was during spring break, Georgia and Alabama, and they had you knew exactly when Georgia was here. You knew when Alabama was here. You knew when Tennessee was here, and they kept it very separated. It just wasn't a mess like it is now.